Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Today is what? Monday. And where are we?
Jay's Breakfast Club.
Hey. The doctor will be in the house. She's on her way. She's the doctor, and we want her to travel safely because she has to take care of all of us, right?
That's right.
So, in the meantime, while we're waiting, we have a special young lady who had asked to make an announcement this morning, and it has to do with women. Women. Okay. Are we out of Women Appreciation? That's March.
That's all March.
That's March.
Yes, it's now.
We can only be appreciated in March.
Oh, we appreciate it 365.
Okay. Absolutely. So, Mrs. Mosley, come and tell us what's happening at Trinity.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Sandra Mosley, and I just want to take a few moments. It's Women's History Month, right? And although we take the privilege of celebrating all year long, our special recognition is this month. And one of the things that we're doing this month is we are having a Women's Life event where we're going to be on a webinar talking about women and money. And so we're going to have a great conversation.
Women and money, they do go together, don't they?
Nicely.
Yes, they do. We expect it, we use it, and we need it, right?
Yes, indeed.
And so we're going to be talking about several things, just things that impact us around that, such as a change in relationship, retiring early, planning for our children's future, leaving a legacy. So I just wanted to come and thank you, Ms. Rosie, for allowing me to just come and share just a minute
Our pleasure.
About that, because it's such an important topic that we often don't talk about. And so the cool thing about this is that when we say it's a webinar, you can be at home in your jammies, right?
Yes.
Get some popcorn, make it a Super Bowl evening, spend an hour with us, maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and get some information that can change your future. So if you are interested, we have a speaker that will be presenting, and we've partnered with Fidelity Investments. So if you are interested, you can reach out to me on text me, and I will send you an invitation. You need an invitation to get into the webinar. And my number is 219-290-1983. 219-290-1983. Just everybody be safe, be blessed, and thank you so much.
Did you tell us when?
Oh, I sure didn't. Thursday. This Thursday at 6:00 p.m. Thursday, March the 18th at 6:00 p.m. So if there's some gentlemen looking at this and you have significant others or you have daughters, you can also invite them to participate.
Can't they participate?
This is a women's only event. We love you. This is locked down for us.
No football, no basketball, just girl talk.
Just girl talk. All right.
Thank you so much,
Bless you.
Mrs. Mosley. Okay. All right. So we are going to pause just for a second and
Trivia today.
allow everybody to order their breakfast here at Jay's Breakfast Club. Mrs. Mosley said she was going to get shrimp and grits to take home to her husband. I just bust you out, so you have no choice. You got to take it to him. And we have some guys, some wonderful young men in here who's giving her the thumbs up. That's the right thing to take to your husband. Okay. All right. I did not do a trivia today. I'm not going to take you to my pity party, but yesterday was not a good day. It was a good day because every day the Lord sends is a good day.
That's right.
But there were some things that happened that kind of set me off track, and I didn't read my book last night.
Okay.
Anybody have a trivia you want to throw out?
I have one.
Okay.
And I'm going to zoom in on these men over here. Can you tell me who are the regional champions for a basketball from Gary, Indiana?
Hey, Westside!
Yeah. We have with us today our athletic director and our coach and our team from the Gary Athletics Department. They're strategizing as we head to semi-state to face off against Carmel and Lafayette. They're number 2, we're number 10. We don't care because we're gonna win. How about that?
All right, that's fine. I didn't know who the handsome gentlemen were, so let's introduce them.
Those are my colleagues. Gentlemen, you care to introduce yourselves?
I'm Hank Kylander, athletic coordinator in the Gary Community Schools.
All right, and
Chris Buzz, I'm the head boys basketball coach at Westside High School.
good job, Mr. Buzz. Good job. Yes.
Robert Lee, athletic director for Gary Community Schools.
All right.
Yes, let's clap it up for the Cougars.
Hey, congratulations, congratulations. I was kind of out of the loop, so last night, Chelsea, you'll be proud of me. I did Google to find out.
Who won?
Yes.
All you have to do is go to my page. It's like 30 videos on there.
And that's exactly where I went.
And now the horrible thing, it wasn't in the Post Tribune.
It
It was
was?
all over the time. I read
It was
it.
online on the post.
It was online, but I get the paper.
The paper.
Yeah, I was looking for, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, they never put it.
So you think it'll come out today? A day late?
The later Southern game, they have pushed it back.
Well, they will be in Lafayette on Saturday. We will be in Lafayette on Saturday for the square off. If they win the first game, then they play in the evening, and then next stop
I
will
don't
be
like what you just said.
when they win the first
Win,
game.
win. You know,
they
we
play
don't
the
use
second
if in
game.
here.
That's right. And then we can be headed to Indianapolis.
How long has it been, coaches and athletic director? How long has it been since Gary has brought a championship with basketball? Oh, maybe that's our trivia.
Oh, I know. I think it's
I'm saying maybe that's our trivia.
all right. So we'll tell our viewers that
We have to know the answer though.
I know that's the correct answer, and we'll tell our viewers if they didn't hear that today's trivia question is: when was the last time Westside Leadership Academy captured a state basketball title? All right, and what do they win?
Championship.
Championship, yes.
Right.
And what will they win if they answer correctly in the comments?
They will get a Jay's Breakfast Club gift card.
All right.
Yeah.
For those shrimp and grits that we have been talking
shrimp
about.
and grits, but it does not have to be shrimp and grits.
Right, we got to stop talking about shrimp and grits because Dr. Seabrook has arrived, and we're going to talk about egg white omelets and vegetables. Come on in, Doc. You're
But
over here.
I'm trying to start impressing Dr. Seabrook. When I order salmon, I tell them to put a lot of spinach in my salmon and lots of green peppers, and it's really good with your grits. Is that still bad?
We'll let her get settled, and then she'll tell us whether it's bad or not.
Do you know the answer? You know the answer.
Yes. And can you just tell us what our lineup is for the next coming Mondays? On the 22nd, we have
On the
League.
22nd, for the rest of this month, while Dr. Seabrook is getting ready for us here, let me move over a little bit here. Next Monday, you know, a couple of weeks ago? Time is moving so quickly. We had representatives from our finest here. And we talked a lot about the need for block clubs and how we can better provide safety in our neighborhoods. And that was one of the things that they stressed. Well, what we try to do here at Jay's is address the needs and also really look at how we can help to strengthen our community, whatever. So based on what the representatives from our police department said, we needed to really take a look at our block clubs. So what did we do? We went to Urban League and we said, can we get a representative at Jay's Breakfast Club to talk about block clubs in Gary? And of course, what did they say? Yes. So on next Monday, Mrs. Morris, I believe, will be here to talk about organizing block clubs in your community. And it's very important that we do that. Then on the next Monday, you know, Gary Community School Corp is usually here the second Monday, but for some secret reason, they asked, can I be changed to the last Monday, because we're going to have a fantastic announcement. Well, at 16, I still like surprises, so I did not ask a lot of questions, but we're all very anxious to see what's happening with our Gary Community School Corps.
Right.
So that's what it looks like for this month. And then when we roll around to May, first Monday in May, our police department will be back here again, and they promise this time to bring some boys and girls.
All right.
Okay. All right, Chelsea.
We are pleased to present for today our speaker to give us healthy tips on all things healthy, Dr. Janet Seabrook.
So good morning.
Good
Ms. Rosie.
morning. Good morning.
My apologies. Got a little snafu in my schedule this morning, but I got my life together.
Well, you know what? That's the important thing. You got your life together, and you are here.
I went straight to the office. That's
okay.
how energized I was today. I went straight to the office. I'm working on a grant, so I think my brain was kind of focused on that and get it to my desk and continue my work on the grant. But I shall not be deterred.
Okay, and we will not give you 10 demerits for being late, being tardy.
So one of the good things that's happening for Community Health Net is starting today. We have the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
All right.
That's the one and done, one shot and you're done.
Okay.
For the Cobra Vaccine, available at our Martin Luther King location.
For what age group?
We're following the state guidelines.
Not yet, Chelsea. Not yet.
Not yet. So we're following the state guidelines. So our Martin Luther King location is 3503 Martin Luther King. You go on the Indiana Vaccine website and you can put in the zip code, and that site will pop up and you can make an appointment. We start this week with 100 doses, and every day is booked up, and so I don't imagine by the end of the week that those 100 doses will still be available, but we'll get drop shipped every Friday, 100 more vaccines.
I think James is old enough. Oh, excuse me.
Busted.
I was gonna say I was ready, but thanks for busting me out, you know. Yeah. And I gotta go do it because I saw my mom. She's had both of her shots. And I said, can I get a hug? She said, it's not until you get your shot. So I ain't hugged my mother in a year, so I will definitely be in line. But I was going to ask, is that the only way you can sign up? Is on the website, you can't call Community Health Net directly?
No, we're asking that people go through the statewide website and make the appointment. And hopefully we can post it on the Facebook page and other social media so people will be able to go on and make their appointments. That helps us keep the appointments in line so we know the doses that are available for the day. It kind of keeps everybody from having to wait. If you know who to expect, and we get closer toward the end of the day, if we see people haven't shown up, then we may open up some of those things for people. But we have to give people the chance to have literally been salivating to get this one and done Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And so I think our name was put into the state database last week, and as soon as it opened up, the appointments were booked up. So we're just excited about that.
And that's key. As soon as it was posted, it was filled. It means that Gary is really taking advantage and getting their vaccine.
Oh yes.
Is that a good thing?
That is an excellent thing.
That's a wonderful thing. Let's give ourselves
Gary.
Because we've been hearing a lot, through the media about vaccine hesitancy in African American communities. Well, I particularly have not seen that at Community Health Net. Our patients have actually been asking us when we were going to have the vaccine. And since January, when we were approved to be a site, we've been, kind of telling people it's coming, it's coming. Well, it's finally here, and I'm happy to say that. I think that everyone that is eligible should get the vaccine, and especially now, there are no excuses because you have the 1 dose Johnson & Johnson, so there are no excuses.
After church yesterday, I had this conversation with my pastor, and he said, I didn't really mean to do a survey in church this morning, but I was just talking about it, and it just kind of slipped out how many of you have been vaccinated. And he said, I was just so pleasantly pleased that the majority of the congregation that was there raised their hand.
That's good.
So that's a good thing. So that's a testimony that we in Gary, Indiana, we really want to be a healthy city.
We do, and people want to get back to as much normalcy as possible. I just got this big smile on my face as I was driving up and I saw all of the cars, because typically, people are pulling up, grabbing theirs and going, but people are literally coming inside. And I'm assuming that that's because some of us have been vaccinated and feel comfortable coming out in public, still wearing your mask, still socially, physically distancing, not socially. We're physically distancing. I'm still your friend. And so I think that was a testimony. So it really made me feel excited when I pulled up and I saw all the vehicles. And I
Here to
hope
see you.
that they represented people that had come inside of Jay's Breakfast Club, if not to see me, but to at least have breakfast and to be, to be around friends and to have some type of, sense of community, because we've really missed that over the year that we've had to distance ourselves from each other. So it made me feel good to put a smile on my face, even on this dreary, cold day. I was happy with the sight that I saw. Then I walked in the door and you see all these faces and everybody smiling. Everybody has their mask pulled down so they can eat, but as soon as they're finished eating, they're pulling their mask back up. So that makes me feel good.
Doc, can we talk about the side effects? What kind of side effects have you noticed or have your patients complained about? And how long does this side effect, whatever, I'm not asking it correctly probably, but is there a length of time that you can, if you're having some after symptoms from having taken the vaccine, how long, what's the prolonged expectation?
So this is what has happened. There have been some people who have had reactions to the various vaccines. You're asked to report that, which is one of the reasons why they have you sit 15 minutes after you get the vaccine to make sure that you're not going to have any type of reaction. And if you do, there are things that they can give you, Benadryl, they have the epinephrine, things that they can give you, EpiPen, to help calm whatever reaction that you're having. Now, some people have experienced, after the fact, maybe a day or two later, pain and redness at the site of the injection. That's normal. That can happen when you get a flu shot. That can happen when you get a pneumonia shot. So those are some of the things that you might get a localized type of reaction, which means redness, sometimes pain and swelling at the site where you were given the injection. You may experience some pain in the arm, and that happened to me after my second shot. My first shot, I was fine, absolutely nothing happened. I was able to go about my day. And I tell this funny story because when I went back to get my second shot, they were telling everybody, if you're here for your second shot, you're probably going to have pain in your arm. Why did they tell me that? Okay, don't tell me that. So I went home because I had an early morning shot. It was on a Saturday. And I went home and I furiously started cleaning up, vacuuming, polishing furniture. Then all of a sudden, maybe about 2 or 3 hours later, my arm started hurting. And so that was Saturday, it was Sunday, and it was into maybe Monday morning where I started to feel a little bit better. So you have some people that will experience some pain in their arm, either mild to severe, Tylenol or ibuprofen if you can take that, cold packs on your arm, or warm pack, depending on what feels better for you. I didn't use any type of pack on my arm. I just pretty much rested the rest of the day, took a couple of Tylenol, and like I said, by Sunday evening it was feeling a lot better. Some people do experience flu-like symptoms, just like you would if you get the flu shot, watery eyes, runny nose, things like that, but those have been very rare. Most people experience the localized pain in the arm, and that's about it.
How long, or what is the, okay. When will we have to repeat this vaccination?
We don't know that yet. That's a very good question. We do not know that yet, and we'll need to get a majority of the population vaccinated first. And then we'll have to start to have the experience of being out in public, to start to remove some of the physical distancing barriers. We'll see if we have clusters or outbreaks in certain communities or across the United States, and then that will determine if we need to start giving these vaccines on a yearly basis. But the data is just being collected now. Realize that we just started really vaccinating people about 8 to 9 weeks ago. And so we really don't have the data, enough data yet to say whether people will need to be revaccinated. It'll probably be at least a year where we've had everyone or people who want it, but the bulk of people vaccinated, that then we'll be able to look at that data and see if we're starting to have outbreaks or clusters across the United States.
So it's the same kind of data or factors that are used with any vaccination to determine how often it should be repeated.
Exactly, or if we'll need a booster shot.
Yes, yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I need some questions down there. Are there questions? No? Okay.
Well, let's talk about masks, because we'll still need to wear our masks until the majority of people are vaccinated. So we still will need to continue to wear our masks. I know it's a pain, it's a hassle, but you know, American ingenuity, we have just taken this to another level. We have, you know,
They light up.
Different colors,
Yes.
sequins, pearls, matching our outfits. We have taken it, of course, because we're fabulous. We take it to another level, you know. And I just sometimes I just sit and I marvel at the different colors. You know, people have put their emblems, churches. You know, we figured out how to make lemonade out of these lemons that have been given to us for a whole year. And you would think that we would be tired of it by now, but like I said, people have taken it to another level. The best thing that I saw was the inauguration with all of the different colors, the First Lady, the Vice President, Madam Vice President, and you saw all the beautiful outfits and then all the gorgeous masks that were going on with all of the different colors they had on, the mulberry, the plumberry, the yellow. It just went on and on. And I said, you know what? We really know how to do some things, don't we?
And I look at Madam Pelosi. No matter what she has on, that's a sharp little lady.
Yes.
And no matter what she has on, that mask is definitely coordinated with it. So we can wear a mask and be fashionable.
We can.
Okay.
We can.
Okay.
And we will have to continue to wear them for some time in 2021. Yes.
I see it work that you got the teachers vaccinated.
Yes.
So that's a fantastic thing.
I just didn't understand the logic of that at all. I'm like, everybody wants the kids back in the school. The teachers wanted to be back at work. Just give them what they wanted, which was simple. They weren't asking for much. They were asking to be protected.
Exactly.
And the logic, I just wasn't understanding the logic.
What do you think about kids going back to school, especially in the Gary Community School Corporation? They stated that 46% signed up to go back. We know that 46% didn't really show up. But now they have another open enrollment. What would be the advantage?
You reading your emails.
Of kids, that's right, kids going back to school for the last quarter.
So what I think is that you're still going to have some parents that are going to have some reticence. They know about the aging infrastructure of our district, and that a lot of the schools aren't outfitted with the ventilation systems and things that need to be had. If it was summertime, we can open the windows, or springtime, but it's cold outside. You open the windows, then you're going to have some children that are cold, you know, having to put coats on in the classroom and things like that. So I'm hoping that with the funding for cities and states and for school districts that were put in this bill that was signed into law by President Biden last week, that some of that money that goes to the various school districts across the United States will be used to help ventilate the schools, the buildings themselves, so the parents themselves may feel more comfortable in enrolling their children and bringing their children back to face-to-face learning. Because you know, we've had a lot of challenges, and Gary isn't the only school district that has had a lot of challenges, you know, with internet, computers, and having all of the access that some school districts have, and their students is, you know, a suburban school district to tell a student to go home and do e-learning it may be not as big of an issue as it is for someone from Gary to be able to have steady, reliable internet services and things like that. And so I just think that it's very important that the schools, the districts, when they receive that money, that they make good use of that money by making sure that the ventilation and the children are able to return very safely to the school.
Okay, are there other questions? You have a follow-up, Sam?
Does it have to be about the virus?
Oh, are we ready
No,
to move on?
We can move on if people are ready to move on.
I wanted to ask Dr. Seabrook, does your, I don't know what you call your medical whatever.
Medical facility?
Do you guys advocate people getting health advocates? What do you call it? A health power of attorney or something like that? Do you?
Yes, we do. One of the things that when I was actively in patient care and going into exam rooms and seeing patients, especially and it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that's older, but I would talk to patients, particularly those with chronic diseases that sometimes will be in the hospital a lot, to make sure that they have things written down as to how they would like their care to proceed if they're not able to speak for themselves. One of the things that I used to really advocate for is make sure that you have a list of your medications, not just carrying your pill bottles around, but write those medications down on a piece of paper. Now we have our cell phones. We can put it into our cell phone. We can literally take a picture of each one of our prescription bottles, but make sure that there's something there that when you're not able to speak for yourself, say in an emergency situation, and people know that you're on these different kinds of medications. I would also talk to patients about making sure that they have someone that can speak for them on their behalf if they are incapacitated and unable to speak for themselves. Have you had this conversation with your family members, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren? These are the things that I would like to happen to me if I find myself in this situation. I am signing over my power of attorney, so to speak, of my medical information to you to speak on my behalf in case that I am incapacitated and unable to do that. I'm a strong advocate of that because sometimes those situations come up. And your doctor should know who your medical spokesperson is. And if they're available, they should be able to come in to 1 or 2 visits so the doctor won't be having a relationship with a strange person that you're not comfortable talking with. Come in, if you've been made someone's power of attorney or medical advocate, at least try to have 1 medical visit with them, with their primary care provider, so you all can develop a relationship as well. So you don't have this adversarial, you know, you're in a high stress situation, the person is really, really incapacitated, there are decisions that need to be made regarding life support and things like that. And then you kind of have this adversarial relationship because this is a strange doctor or, you know, nurse practitioner or healthcare provider telling you that this situation is dire, and it's kind of hard to process because you're just hearing this from this stranger.
Well, see, people have a problem with that because they think you got to go to a lawyer, and many of our seniors cannot afford to go to an attorney to do something like that. So.
You don't have to go to an attorney. You can ask your physician. Many physicians' offices have those forms available. And if they don't, you can find them online and print them out and take it to your doctor and ask them to make a copy of it and insert it or scan it into your electronic record. Yeah, so you don't have to go to an attorney to have someone be made your medical advocate.
And it really needs to be emphasized that, you know, that can be done, because like she's saying, the hesitancy could be that I cannot afford an attorney to get this done. But when our attorney was here, 2 weeks ago, we talked about that, because, and I think the question I asked was, in most instances now, well, I guess in all instances, especially if you're hospitalized, they ask you about your living will and all those kinds of things. And I agree, and we've had the opportunity where we've had to have a younger person or someone else to go in with the person who was visiting the doctor to make sure that whatever the doctor was saying to them, they would be able, once they got home, they would be able to further explain it to them. And are we on the right track there?
Right, and there's a distinction now. We're talking about medical power of attorney versus other powers of attorney with your property, with your vehicle, with your house, your bank accounts and things like that. All I'm talking about is medical. And when you're going to the doctor, and if something happens to you and you're incapacitated and unable to speak for yourself. Now, it could be the same person that you're a major medical advocate, and also the person who is the power of attorney over all your physical goods. But it may not be, you know, so though there is a distinction. And it's not a will, okay? A will is where you are bequesting things to people who are in your family or the friends and things like that. So totally different. So this is medical advocacy, medical care, and power of attorney over your medical care versus those other things.
Okay, Dr. Jones.
I know when my sister and I were caring for our parents and we had to go with them, we kept a notebook. And if she couldn't go, then she would hand the notebook over to me. And I could read what the last visit said, although she had shared it with me and vice versa. So it's good to have that notebook, have everything written down, what the doctor said, new medications, whatever it is.
No, I totally agree with you. I would put together, like you said, a notebook or a journal, something that you know is stable and not going to fall apart on you, something that is very sturdy. That you would take notes, write the doctor's name down, their physical address of the office that you saw them in, the medications that they're DCing or discontinuing, those medications that they're adding, what the conversation was. I believe that in order to be an advocate for whomever you are the caretaker for, these are some of the best practices to do to be able to better advocate for care and services for that family member or friend or whoever you are the medical advocate for. Yes, ma'am.
I carried up until her death, even though she was at a nursing home, a full medical list, a list of doctors and a list of medications for my mother. And my brothers carried that too, so that if one of us had to go to the doctor with her versus another one, you had to go to a new doctor, the first thing you do is ask for a HIPAA form and sign it. Because technically the doctor, even though you're in the room, there's some gray area about whether they can actually talk to you about the person's care, and in a technical sense they shouldn't if you're in the room and you haven't signed a HIPAA form. But I was very insistent on that and making sure that my brothers carried that medication list. So anybody that you're responsible for, minor children, an aging parent, or even a spouse, because let's face it, it is Women's Health Month and men don't take care of themselves, we do. So make sure that you're carrying his medication list also.
No, that is so very true, and thank you so much for saying that. And you refer to privacy laws, and you are absolutely correct. Doctors typically or should adhere to those privacy laws, so you do have to sign forms in the office, and that allows the medical information to be released to you while you're in the room with the patient, or if you make the request of their medical records. So everything that you said is absolutely true, and thank you for bringing that to light. And yes, this is Women's Health Month, History Month and Health Month. And yes, we do have to take care of our men. So yes, help them keep up with their medication list, please.
What happens when they're real stubborn and don't listen to us? And think they are Superman and can put a Band-Aid and an aspirin together and heal themselves.
You got to answer right behind you.
That's who I live with.
You are now talking about my father, who, in the course of sitting in a medical exam, the doctor said, "So how long ago did you have cancer?" And I went, and when we got back in the car, I said, "So you had cancer, and you kind of didn't tell us. Why?" And he said, "Because it was none of your business." And I said, he said, "You didn't need to know. I could take care of myself." And I said, "Well, here's how this is going to go. I provide you transportation now, so every time we go in, we're going to ask for a HIPAA form. And if you don't sign the HIPAA form, you're going to see a side of me that you never thought you raised me to have, because you will not have any more major secrets about your health that I'm not aware of." And he resisted the first time for about 10 seconds, and he saw me turning into this other person, and he signed it, and after that we didn't have any problems.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to turn into somebody.
Because it's all about love. You weren't doing that because you disliked him. You were doing that because you loved him and you wanted to see him be here a little while longer.
I pictured him driving to take chemo on his own and keeping it from us because he felt that it was important that we not have to worry. Well, I'm now worried. So we're going to worry together. And I did that until the day he passed away. And with my mother, she was even worse than him, and I just didn't even have the conversation with her. I just said, "Here, you need to sign this." And she did.
And sometimes we have to take a stand, for the betterment of our family members' health. We just have to put our foot down and take a stand. And it may be, a day or two, or maybe even a week of some, hurt feelings, feeling put out and feeling some type of way. But in the end, I think that when they realize that it's all in love, it changes the whole situation. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't have put yourself out there like that. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, that's very true. But Doc, I'm going to speak up a little bit for the men.
Okay.
You love it, James?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they need as much help as they can get. They really do. They need as much help as they can get. Help them out, Miss Rose.
And part of it, I do understand and appreciate. They feel that they have to protect us. And in this day and time, some of our young men need a role model from our older men.
Right.
What word we're going to use, seasoned. From our more seasoned men. I understand that we need to know what's happening to them health-wise. We need to know everything that's going on with them. But just like your dad said, you didn't need to know. I don't think he was being mean. He just felt that, okay, I got this, and I don't need to have you worry about me, So that's my defense. However, guys, please take care of your health. And as I say to my husband, you worry about me, but you don't, and he is a typical example, right, Sandra? She deals with my husband all the time. He wants to be the macho. Last week, I kept saying, should you be lifting all of those boxes with a pacemaker, But anyway, we have to really try to help take care of them. And we're not trying to go over them or overpower, I guess is the word I'm trying to use here. But we want to make sure, and I say to my husband, I said, just as you worry about me, I worry about you. And I don't mean worry, I mean concern. So, James, that's my defense.
Nice try.
You guys, we appreciate your masculine, whatever, feeling that you have to take care of us. But let us share what's going on in your lives so that we can be there to help also.
Well, one of the things that you can say to them, if they want to protect you and take care of you, is to take care of themselves.
Exactly.
If they want to be here in the future.
Did you hear that, Jay?
It's very simple. Drink water, exercise, eat your veggies, watch your cholesterol. So it's very simple. You know, you want to. You know, you want to protect people, but one way of protecting me is to stay here with me. Okay? Don't leave me. Stay here with me. Keep your cholesterol down. Eat the veggies. Eat salads. You know. Drink a whole bunch of water.
all back tonight. I'm gonna play this back.
Hey, let me give him a little hint too. Happy wife, happy life.
That's how it works. You know.
Pardon me?
Greg has that on his wall.
What?
Happy
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true.
It's a lot
Very
easier.
true. It makes your life very simple.
A lot easier.
Yeah. Lead a simple life. Just keep your wife happy, and it's all good.
Right.
It is all good.
Thank you.
Amen. I'm over here outnumbered 8-1, and I agree.
Very good.
And you have daughters, right? So you know.
Got 2 daughters. Yep.
Exactly.
You know how that is.
Wow, what a fantastic conversation. Are there other questions or concerns?
Before we wrap up, I have a question regarding your vaccination card. So I've been seeing all types of stories around people getting them laminated, people posting them online, it becoming the new passport. Just wanted to hear Dr. Seabrook's thoughts on what to do with our vaccination cards once we're vaccinated. What's the protocol? What's the etiquette with that? And what do you think about it becoming the new passport to say, I'm safe, I can fly, I'm showing my card?
So what I ask people to do now about the lamination, I would ask that you get a plastic sleeve and slip it into other than lamination, because as Ms. Rosie and I talked about, if we do need to get a booster shot, if you've laminated that, it's going to be very difficult and you're going to need a new card.
Okay.
So if you get one of those plastic sleeves like you see people have, the badges and things they slide into, you can get some of those and just slide it in. Keep it in a safe spot where you keep your papers that are valuable, you know, where you keep your passport, where you keep your private banking information, 401k, whatever. Wherever you keep those items, put that with it because it is very valuable. I don't know where this is going, but to travel eventually internationally, they may want to know if you're vaccinated. The country of origin, the country that you're traveling to would be the determining factor as to, you know, if they require a vaccine or not. So I would keep that card. Try not to post it online because there are some counterfeit cards being made. So don't post it online. You can, they're giving people stickers just like when you go vote, you know, to say I got vaccinated. You can show your little sticker. You can even, if you want to, put the little happy face over you and show your arm getting the shot, what have you. But keep your card private, just like you would protect your Social Security number. Put it where you keep your Social Security card and your passport and all your valuable documents. Put it in a sleeve so it won't get chewed up on the edges. It'll stay looking nice and fresh because we don't know if we need a booster shot. If you need to prove that you have been vaccinated, I would keep it with your passport. If you're traveling internationally, check the country that you're going to be traveling to and what they require.
Great question.
I can have a question. Is there anybody who should not get vaccinated? Like if people are planning for procedures, you know, the timing of, I had someone that was in a conversation, they said, well, I have this procedure, so do I get vaccinated before? Should I wait till after? That's the first question. And then someone who is already using an EpiPen, is there anything that they can do in preparation?
So, great questions. As far as who should get vaccinated or not, right now, people who are to be vaccinated, who can be vaccinated, are right now with the state, I believe it's 50 and above. So if you are someone who has had cancer, someone who's immune compromised, you should be getting vaccinated. If you're someone who has a chronic disease, hypertension, diabetes, someone who is has been hospitalized within the last, year or two, you should be vaccinated if you meet the state's criteria of 50 and above. If you're in the process of going into the hospital to have an elective procedure, typically what has been happening since they started back doing electives, and what is an elective procedure? Something that is not an emergency. When you have an appendicitis, that's an emergency. Right. When you are going in for a hip replacement, that is a non-emergency surgery that is scheduled. If you're going in for plastic surgery, that is scheduled. If you're going in for dental surgery, these things are scheduled. They're not emergencies. You should check with your physician. But if you are required or need to have a vaccine, most of the time they're asking that you be tested for COVID. If you are negative, they will go ahead and do the elective procedure. I would wait until after you have healed from the procedure and then go to get your vaccine, as long as there are no contraindications to getting the vaccine. That was the first question. The second question was EpiPen. People who have severe allergies should check with their healthcare provider. Most healthcare providers are telling their patients to go and get the shot. Take your EpiPen with you. I recommend that you go to a hospital site, or if your doctor has them available, to get the vaccine at your doctor's office, but take your EpiPen with you. I have recommended that people who have severe allergies schedule theirs for a hospital to get vaccinated at the hospital, and then that way, if anything happens, they can take you straight to the emergency room if your allergies are that severe. But if they're not, and you're just someone that gets a localized reaction, you might want to take a little Benadryl before you go. So those are my recommendations.
There's a question
along that
online.
same line. What about a person who has actually had COVID and recovered?
And so we're asking that people wait 60 to 90 days after you've had COVID to get the vaccine. Okay, so 90 days after you've had COVID, check with your healthcare provider, but then you should be able to go and get the vaccine.
Okay. Sandra had a question. You have a question
We have one online.
Okay.
Go ahead, online.
Okay.
They want to know, is the Johnson vaccination safe, in your opinion?
Yes, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, in my opinion, is safe. I had a couple of friends, actually, colleagues, associates, that participated in the Johnson & Johnson trial. One person believed that she had gotten the placebo, but she believed her family member got the actual vaccine during the trial. And she was correct. Actually, they notified her at the conclusion of the trial, once the emergency authorization had been given, that she had been in the placebo bunch, so she needed to come in and get her vaccine. But the person, her other family member, had the real vaccine, so he didn't need to come in and get his. But it's a safe vaccine. I followed her course throughout the trial last year during the Johnson & Johnson vaccine trial. And of course she got the placebo, but her family member actually had the real vaccine, and of no consequence, nothing happened to either one of them. It's safe and it's effective, and it's one dose, and you're done.
One and done.
James, you have?
Yeah, we had Patricia, Cobb, Isabel, and she said, so the teachers can get vaccinated starting today, or how is that? I guess we can reiterate about the teachers.
So, from what I know, that teachers have been given the green light. The Lake Ridge School District actually has the vaccine, and they'll have 800 doses of the vaccine March 20th and 21st. That's a Saturday and a Sunday. It's coming up. They're going to be going all day on Saturday, all day on Sunday. To anyone who is eligible, including teachers, will be able to be vaccinated March 20th and 21st at the Calumet New Tech High School parking lot.
Is that are teachers giving any kind of priority?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Educators are now essential, and you just need only show your proof of being an educator to
get vaccinated.
And they still go back to that site to sign up, or how would they go?
I believe that there is a website sign up for, because that's the state. The state is actually doing that. They're coming in and holding a mass 2-day vaccine clinic at the school. It's going to be in the gym, but they're going to be out on the parking lot doing the registration and directing you into the gym to get the vaccine.
And that's March 21st.
20th and the 21st, Saturday and Sunday. The same online viewer wants to know where she can get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I guess she didn't see the beginning, so you can tell us again.
3503 Martin Luther King. You have to go to the state's website though. That's Community Health Net. We have the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We have 100 doses this week. Hurry up, go to the state's website, put in 46409, Community Health Net, MLK will pop up, and you can see when we have our next appointment.
Nice.
Okay,
So thank you.
Couldn't you copy your information and carry it with you? Some people want to feel comfortable.
Yes.
And you just copy it and laminate the copy?
Yes.
And keep the original someplace else?
Yes, it's just like you do with your Social Security card. You protect it, but sometimes you make a copy of it. You know, if somebody asks you to turn it in someplace. So yes, I would say keep your card, your original card, safe and secure in whatever format. If you want to make a copy of it and then laminate the copy and then put it in the plastic sleeve that I recommended and put it with your other valuable papers, yes, that's very smart.
Okay.
Treat it as if you would treat any other valuable paper that you don't want to, any document that you do not want to lose.
Are there other questions? This $1 million discussion we have had this morning at Jay's Breakfast Club. And we're here every Monday. And we give you millions of dollars worth of information just for your coming in to get shrimp and grits. Chelsea? Oh, I messed up.
It's the egg white omelet.
Egg white omelet. I'm sorry. Come get some shrimp and grits. Chelsea, give us a good commercial.
We are located at Jay's Breakfast Club, 3669 Broadway, the hottest breakfast spot in Northwest Indiana and beyond. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Soul Food Sunday on Sundays with live entertainment. Saturdays, Small Business Saturdays, and of course Mondays, Silver Mondays. You can dine in, carry out, or do delivery through Grubhub and DoorDash. Give us a call, 219.
While they're doing that, they can still tune in to what?
They can tune in to Facebook Live to watch Silver Mondays if they would like to grab their food and go by calling 219-455-6959.
Chelsea, remember we have a trivia question out there. Did anyone answer?
The trivia question was not answered on my live, so I will give you the answer, the correct answer. The last time Gary Westside snagged a state title was 2002. Extra trivia on that team, unbeknownst to me, was my future brother-in-law, Dante Whittington, who was on that team. And yes, shout out to Dante in California for being on that 2002 team.
Okay, and my favorite comment that I always used when I represented the district was, can anything good come out of Gary, Indiana?
Absolutely.
Give me the answer.
Yeah.
We see it every day. We see examples every day.
Yes.
So we say to you, thank you for joining us. Did you have I thought I saw your hand go. Because we're wrapping up here for today. But we never run away if there's one last question.
That's right.
Thank you. See you next Monday.